This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. It is not intended to cause or induce breach of an existing agency agreement.
This is the Victoria Real Estate Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast, where we discuss everything Victoria Real Estate. I'm Adrian McLaren, and I'm joined by my co-host
Vincent Bart,
and we are realtors on the City Nest team at Remax Camosun in Oak Bay in Greater Victoria. And like always on our monthly market update episodes, we're also joined by
David Steinberg.
Awesome. And David is a mortgage broker and owner of Olympic Mortgages, also in Victoria. And before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor of the podcast, K9 Car Care. K9 Car Care came to the office and cleaned my car while we recorded the podcast. They did an awesome job. I was really impressed by the results. They offer remote car detailing inside and out. They offer 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And they state that a clean car equals instant confidence. And you can find out more about what they offer at k9carcare.com.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, guys. Weekly stories.
Weekly stories. Okay, this is a quick one. I went sailing with David.
Thank you for having me.
Where was my invite? I never.
Yeah, it's in the mail somewhere, I'm sure. We went out sailing. Brought families out, and we were just kind of splashing around in the water, having a great time. And someone was waving feverishly, and we had to call the Coast Guard. It turns out their engine was stuck in reverse.
Yeah, he was literally like
going in circles.
Very slowly, though. Very slowly going in a backward circle.
Yeah.
And he's going like this.
Waving dramatically.
And I'm thinking like, that doesn't look right. And you're like, no, he's definitely stuck.
Like, are you in distress or are you just happy to see me? And he was in distress. So we called the Coast Guard. They'd have a radio.
They did.
If you're going to be on a boat, have a radio.
You do some risk management, I would say.
Yeah.
Like make sure your cell phone works, like make sure you got a radio, make sure you got a third line of communication.
Yep.
Yeah, those are all actual requirements, right?
By law.
Okay.
Anyways, that's how it goes. So called it in. That was really fun.
And it was funny how you told him. You're like, well, if you're stuck in reverse, why don't you just steer in reverse towards shore?
Yeah, I'm like, you can still steer, so just drive back to your marina. He was only 2 kilometers away from his marina.
Backwards in a boat's pretty tough. Because I think about how the propeller works. I've done it. I'm sure you have as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, but get within 100 feet of your marina and then call your marina and say, hey, I'm in distress. Yeah. Can I park at the fuel dock? But no, these guys were just going in circles. The sky was falling. It was kind of funny.
They had it looked like a nice boat, but I don't know anything about boats.
Yeah, it was a nice setup. Yeah. But not
except
nice
without
enough.
a radio. only went in reverse.
Oh, man, that's crazy. David, what about you? Other than, obviously, sailing, Coast Guard, what do you got going on?
Actually, today I didn't realize it was a long weekend. Yeah. And so the kids, as lucky as they are, they get an extra long weekend. They get 4 days. So I didn't realize that today, Friday, was going to be like the boys around the house day. So they, of course, slept in, and I was just working. And I kind of I got so into work that I forgot to dress for success today. That's why I'm kind of wearing my
I was kind of
joggers.
wondering. You've been really on your game with the nice socks and the pants and the dress shirts.
Yep.
You got, the full gray sweatsuit today.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the sweater? I'm seeing another real estate team.
Feeling a little triggered here.
Yeah. Are we going to have a problem today?
You guys know I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah. But, this guy specifically has been a friend for a long time. We play music together. And whenever I go to his house, he just tries to throw me swag that I only usually wear around the house.
Yeah.
Just because it's really comfortable.
These mortgage brokers.
But, you
mercenaries.
So what you're saying is we need to start buying you swag. Okay.
This one's specifically Champion, and it is super comfy.
Wow. Nice. All right, fine.
So there you go, guys.
That's what it takes.
I'll give you guys some Olympic stuff, too.
Okay, sounds good.
But actually, the funny thing about these specific pants is that they have a hole in the pocket. So, the funny thing is that just before I got here, I left my keys in my pocket because I had to go somewhere this morning in my car, and I'm standing up, and
they fell right out.
Jeez. They fall right through. They're you gotta.
They're just falling apart.
Just fall right through, and then I gotta pick my key out of my pocket. So,
or out of your ankle, Gotcha.
I guess everybody, I'm only putting out the David, try to put out the professional David, but
Yeah.
people really have to know that there's two.
There's a real guy in
there.
sweatpants
That gets
somewhere.
Sometimes.
holes in his sweatpants and the key falls
Wow.
through.
Yeah.
So relatable.
Well, what did I do last night? I went to a pharmacy dinner, and if you guys don't know what that is, basically, drug reps will coerce pharmacists to come to a dinner. And
Big pharma.
Yeah, big pharma. And this is one of my only ties to the industry now in my past career as a pharmacist. So I get to go, to these dinners and see. Some
You're
old
planning
friends.
it, aren't you? Or like you're part of the planning committee?
That's separate, but yeah, we're going to be
Okay.
doing things on that end as well. But this was Freestyle Libre. Big shout out to Victoria. She had a bunch of pharmacists last night at Boom and Batten. Really nice
Wow.
dinner, presentation, all that stuff. But the cool thing is we all got to implant glucose monitors.
Sorry, that was the highlight?
Yeah. So basically, you can
I was
see-
wondering what those are. I see those on people
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time.
So you can see,
Oh.
I have a glucose monitor implanted in my
Just for
tricep.
fun? Just for fun?
Yeah, so it connects to an app on your phone, and basically it'll give you real-time results of where your blood glucose is. And I've done this in the past before, and
Are
what
you
I've-
doing it as like diabetes awareness? Or
It's just for education for pharmacists. 'Cause
Okay.
we give these to clients and stuff, right? So when we don't know what we're doing, so
Right.
obviously if we're educated, we understand how it works, we can better help
Like
them.
testing the product.
Exactly. Yeah. But basically, what I've learned through doing this is I have really low blood sugar, and so throughout the dinner,
That's why you're so chill all the time.
my phone keeps beeping, and it's like basically alarming me that like, hey, your blood sugar is like 3.6. You need to eat something, and this is while I'm like carving into a steak and drinking a glass of red wine.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. So I
Maybe
don't know.
too many alerts.
Yeah, well, no, basically,
Not for people
these
who are
aren't
diabetic.
exactly. These
Yeah.
are not meant for people that
Yeah.
don't have diabetes. But for some reason, I just have a really low blood sugar. So anyway, I turned off all notifications, so I'm good now.
And you're still here.
I'm still here. Yeah, it's basically if you have low blood sugar and you're feeling symptoms like you're lightheaded or dizzy or whatever, then that's a problem. But I don't get any of that, and I have low blood sugar.
Do we
And
have
you're
to
in
add-
great shape. You're in great shape.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Yeah.
Do we have to add a medical disclaimer to this show now?
No, I am
Okay.
actually still a pharmacist, so I
Oh,
can say
you can
this.
say
stuff.
whatever you want.
Yeah, and
All
I still
right.
have insurance, so yeah, we're good.
Sweet.
Now, before we get started, guys, it's your favorite part of the podcast, trivia.
Oh, here we go. This usually does not end well.
I think you guys are like
Like,
0 for 7. at
I'm
this
probably
point.
0 for 7 for sure.
No, David, he got one right last week, I believe, or last month. Okay, so question number 1. How many active listings were on the Victoria MLS at the end of April 2026? Okay. We have A, 2850, B, 3200, C, 3710, and D, 4100.
That's definitely a Vince answer, I think.
It is a Vince
I'm
question.
tempted to go C, but that seems high. 3,700. I think that's too high. 3,200.
You know 3200?
That's
David,
yeah.
do you-
I'm going to go, well, I have to do something different. So I guess I'll do, 3710, I guess.
See?
There's maybe lots of
Okay.
inventory.
And we do have one correct answer.
Oh,
Oh.
there can only be one.
And it is the mortgage broker.
Oh,
Ah,
3710 was the active listing.
I
at
only
the
had to
end
take
of,
the one that you didn't take.
That's it.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
went with C.
Yeah. If you guess like the one-off, one that Vince's second guess, you're usually you'll
That's right.
get some good points.
I'm
there.
usually wrong, but only by a little bit.
Only by a little bit. Okay. How much higher were new listings in April 2026 compared to April 2025? So 1 year ago, and this is new listings for the month of April. We have A, about this basically flat. B, about 7% more listings in 2026 for April. Up about 15% in 2026, or down slightly.
I'm going with up 15% because I've just heard.
He's going for C again. I wanted to go for C. Okay, I guess go for B. Up 7%.
Okay. And again, we have one
Ah,
correct
come
answer. And it's Vince.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Hey, all right. I have
There
so
we
many
go.
people I want to thank. Oh my gosh.
So basically what I'm getting here is whoever guesses second is coerced into that right answer.
There we go.
But yeah, we're up about 7% more new listings in April 2026 than we were of April 2025. And then the last question, this one's kind of a fun one. We have a milestone that we hit for single-family homes under $1 million in the Victoria core. How many were listed, and why is it remarkable? So this is active listings under 1 million in the Victoria core. Under $1 million, we have A, 25, And there's a reason. There's a milestone. So 25, and it's the first time it's been above 20 in 2 years. We have B, 55, matching a previous high from 2019. And then we have 92, the most in 5 years. At one point, around 5 years ago, there was only 6 single-family homes.
I remember
under 1
those
million.
days.
Yeah. And D, 112, a record never seen before.
I'm gonna go. Like, should I? Can I
Go
can
for
I
it, David.
first?
Yeah.
I think go for B, 55.
Okay.
A
gonna go
question
A?
mark?
Yeah, okay.
I'm just rattled. I don't know. What
Unfortunately, neither correct on
Oh.
this one. We actually have 92.
No way.
active
92
listing
homes under
under
$1 million.
in the core. Which is like, when I saw that stat, I confirmed it. I went on us, and I think when this milestone in the article, it was actually 86, and it's actually gone up another 6 listings since then.
Wow.
So yeah, 92. on
Which
single-family
is
homes.
ridiculous to
crazy.
think about.
But
is that just Victoria Core?
Core, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that would mean that there's way more homes under $1
Oh,
million
the West Shore and stuff?
you know,
Yeah,
everywhere
definitely.
else.
Yeah.
I have a theory on that.
Yeah.
Average benchmark price is still holding fairly steady at above 1.2, right? Spoiler alert, it is. So when we see all of these homes under $1 million, what type of homes are under $1 million? Probably, not the nicest.
The ones that are like,
They need
pretty
some work.
dilapidated or
Yep.
So over the last couple of years, we've seen rents come down. We'll talk about that later in the show.
we will.
We've seen vacancy go up. We'll talk about that later in the show. And so I'm guessing a lot of these are rental properties where landlords are saying, you know what, I'm kind of sick of this.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying, you know what, I'm done. And they just put it on the market and sell. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's my
this,
hunch.
This is like what better time? Like, I mean, like it's just a segue into what better time for a buyer right now? Like how much
Sounds like
choice?
such a realtor.
How much? No, I mean like
You're right.
I feel like I'm in that role where people are asking me and they say, is now a good time to make an investment? And I just kind of like chuckle a little bit because it's just like, it's that statistic, even there's that many more homes under $1 million in the core. And that was from before, like well before 2019. This is a lot of homes that are under $1 million.
Yeah. So I mean, this is 92 is the last 5 years, right? And there was more than that probably during that previous 2019. What was it like the slow market then? Before
Yeah,
the
like
rush?
but we're
15?
if anybody needed a time to go and buy, it's like
yeah.
stop
Well,
waiting.
I mean, but this is the funny thing, right? Like where. It's crowd mentality. Like right now, like everyone's hearing, the
like,
market's
what's
not
gonna
doing
happen?
very good, or there's a lot of uncertainty, and I think there's this herd mentality of we want to kind of wait and see, and historically, it's always been the option to go against the crowd. When
Right.
everyone is buying, like during COVID,
Like
and
what
prices-
Vince always
When
says.
others are be fearful, when others are
Yes.
fearful, be greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like during
Every
COVID,
episode.
when prices were skyrocketing and the buyers, that was and everyone's trying to buy. at
Crowd
that point,
crowd
that
mentality.
actually probably would have the best time to sell, and it was
Right.
if we look back. And then now, when everyone's kind of sitting on the sidelines and waiting around, and everyone's chilling, like we're gonna possibly look back now and say,
This
Man.
was the time to buy.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
I mean, like, do you guys foresee? I don't personally, but do you guys foresee any further dramatic decline in the real estate market?
I mean,
For
no.
rentals, I could see them going down because if you own rentals, rents are coming down, vacancies up. We'll talk about that later in the show. So I think there is sort of a macro picture that's changing where small-time landlords, I think, are going to start giving up. That is my theory. So I think those units are going to come up for sale, but like single family with a yard, that's owner occupied, I think those are going to keep shooting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just not building enough.
All right, should we get into the summary of the podcast?
Yeah, let's actually.
Oh, actually, before we go, do you have any new listings you want to highlight on the podcast right now? Anything pop up? to
I
mind?
have this incredible. It's on the tippy top of Triangle Mountain.
Yeah.
It's a family home. It's built in 2016, so really still has that new house smell. It's got a yard, which I did a realtor tour on Tuesday. We went and toured, 5 or 6 realtors, looked at 5 or 6 of our listings on Triangle Mountain. To have a backyard that you can actually kick a soccer ball around on top of
Triangle Mountain,
thing.
probably fantastic views.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's beautiful up there. So, yeah, we've been listed for a couple weeks. 700 Demel Place. So if you're looking for something that has a 2-bedroom suite, massive 2-car garage, and a really nice, large, comfortable family home upstairs. It's worth checking out.
Yeah. And what's the pricing on that?
We're at 1,399. Well, we were, but we just did a big price drop, so we're down at 1,325 and change.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
perfect.
I always tell buyers, I know you guys don't necessarily love this, but I always tell buyers when they're looking at property, look for the unique aspects of it. And this 700 demo place sounds like it has those unique qualities that people are looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Thanks, Vince. Summary of the podcast. Number 1, we're going to talk about rents in Victoria, what's going on there. Number 2, we're going to do an economic and mortgage update with David. And then number 3, classic market stat update on what's going on in the market. So, yeah, we'll start with number 1, Victoria rent market. What's going on? And as Vince kind of already alluded to, rents are declining. And
Wah.
the article I'm reading, it's going off of, I believe, rentals.ca and Urbanation are the 2 stats that are collecting info. And we always argue on how accurate these stats are. But what they are tracking is which direction rents are going, right? And so on Victoria specifically, we have 1 bedrooms down 5.4% year over year. Sitting at $1,968 per month. 2 bedrooms down 2.2%, so not as bad. And they're sitting at around $2,2607 per month average.
That seems high. Like I think of
You
like a
say this
2-bedroom rent every time.
Yeah.
I just trust these numbers. But
Yeah. But I mean,
what do I know?
I mean, I'm currently renting my 2-bed, 2-bath for $2,600. So I mean that's actually bang on, but I mean I would say like I think what it's missing, obviously there's a lot of rentals that are more luxury that probably bring the number up, but then there's crappy little basement suites that are going to bring the number down, right? So it really depends. Like I think 2-bed average show everything, right? Because there's obviously like in a basement suite for a 2-bed 2-bath, maybe you can get it for $2,100. Or right around that 2,000 mark, right? But and then a 1-bedroom suite out in Langford. But this is Victoria specifically, right? So this is talking about. And then nationally, we're seeing the same picture: 19 consecutive months of rent prices declining.
And that makes sense. I believe that because our net
because we've
migration,
had a mash. Yeah, right.
That's right. A lot of people are leaving.
People.
Yeah. Well, I think it was 2025 was the first year we had net negative.
Yeah, since the Second World
population.
War. Yeah.
Well, no, I think it was since our inception.
Oh, geez.
In Canada,
That's bad for business.
We've never had a decline in population in
Come back.
for our 100 and whatever years.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a government policy that they've made some changes. So I think moving forward, we'll have that incline. But specifically this last year is when they made those changes. So that's where we're seeing that decline. Yeah. Despite recent declines, though, rents are still up around 22% since 2021. So it's not like, oh man, we're down 5.4%, but we're looking at the grand scheme of things. We're still up like a large section since that 2021 rush in rental prices. Victoria was the 20th most expensive city in Canada for rent. And it moved to number 14 since January.
Can you even name 20 cities in Canada?
No. I think what it's saying is there is multiple cities, right?
Oh,
so,
okay. So municipalities,
Richmond, all that stuff, right? So we're still sitting at 14th. But basically what that's saying is we went from 20th to 14th since the beginning of the year.
14th most expensive?
Yeah.
That's still hard to believe. Not hard to believe.
All subsections of Toronto. And think of all the subsections.
okay.
I thought Toronto was an amalgamated city. Or I don't want.
David wins that point. Okay,
I don't know.
1 point for
I don't know
sounds
much
like
about
a
Toronto. But yeah, rents are falling, but slower than elsewhere in Canada because we were sitting at we've moved up 6 spots there. BC government credits the drop to new purpose-built rental supply, and then ties directly into Bill 44.
They would try to take credit for that. Hey,
I know it's classic propaganda. Put our tinfoil hats on.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. But like we talked about it. I mean, in my opinion, I think it really comes down to population decline is where I'm seeing a majority.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there has been definitely more purpose-built rental. But yeah, whether that's playing a large enough role.
But I don't think that's missing middle. Like I think that's these giant apartment buildings that are getting approved and funded by Canadian taxpayers via housing bonds.
Yeah. Exactly.
Via housing bonds.
All right. And that kind of wraps up rental. David, you want to pop in for
Sure.
economic and mortgage? What's going on?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I was talking about with some folks the other day is that the foreign buyers ban may be getting repealed January 2027.
Yeah. I heard. What was it? Rumors as well. Somebody that knows David Evie apparently. I don't know. The grapevine. I don't know.
But what this means for real estate market, obviously, is it's going to be a boon for the real estate market to allow foreign buyers to come back in here. And
But we've had the foreign buyer tax of 20% for 8 years, right?
yeah,
So I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to fight on that.
the legislation. If they change legislation with regards to this tax, also, I think that's where we're going to see a boon. But
Got it. Yeah.
I think they're leaning more towards the Australian model, where foreign buyers are only able to buy newly built homes, and existing inventory is only for permanent residents, Canadian citizens.
Interesting. So their idea is that they want to prop build
Yeah.
construction.
Well,
so to increase the housing supply. That's
it probably
I like that
makes
idea.
sense,
Yeah, I approve.
right? There you go.
Yeah,
So
it's got my vote.
I mean, this just leans back into that whole idea of the time is probably now. Whenever I think the government starts loosening up legislation in order to try to spur on the market, it works.
Yeah.
So I would say anybody that's still waiting for a bottom or whatever they're waiting for, or fearful of whatever, like crowd, sticking with the crowd and not buying, like get out of that crowd.
One thing I will say for the foreign buyer ban, where I will kind of maybe say against how much of an impact it has, is I think like when they enacted it, the whole idea was obviously we're foreign buyers, different countries are coming in and buying up all our real estate, and that's what's driving up our market. That's the main reason. And I think when we retroactively looked up like how many actually, like what the percentage wasn't it like less than 2%?
Yeah, well, 2018 when the foreign buyer tax was introduced to British Columbia, and can anyone tell me if real estate prices went down or up after 2018? And it's like, well,
and there's lots of other reasons why it went up. All I'm saying is sitting at 1 to 2%.
Right. So wasn't a huge portion of the market.
But they're sitting here like, oh, look at like the foreign buyer ban. It's really worked. Like housing prices are coming down. Well, no, there's like so many other macroeconomic factors that played into it. But what I do agree with you, David, is they're loosening that up. What else are they going to be loosening up? If they're trending in this direction of loosening up their restrictions, then the big one that I see is if the immigration change, and I think that would be at the end of 2027 or
right. Yeah.
is when they would maybe stop restricting the immigration as much as they have for the last 2 years, to kind of help level out the huge increase we had over COVID, after COVID. I see that being the bigger thing, but if this is a indication of where they're trending in terms of the types of things they're planning in terms of loosening up for housing purchases in Canada for foreign buyers or immigration coming in, all that stuff, then yeah, I would see that coming.
I mean, I'd say just to tie in another point, I'd say that the foreign buyers ban coming off might be more, because there's a lot of people in the States right now that are pissed off with U.S. politics.
Can I say a quick story on this? So we're doing a presentation 2 days ago, I believe, in the office here, and I was on floor duty, and Karen comes, our receptionist here at Remax Most in Oak Bay, and she comes like, Adrian, there's somebody that walked in, they need to talk to somebody. And guess who it was? It was two people from the U.S.
Yep.
And they're living here, months at a time, visiting, and they want to buy. And so I had to educate them on the foreign buyer ban, but the main reason they are actually moving here is for political reasons.
Because of the U.S. politics.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
I have a few clients now that have, they were Canadian citizens, and these guys were lucky enough to be able to come back and buy a house.
Yeah.
I think that once that foreign buyers ban gets lifted, we might see some more immigration from the U.S.
Yeah.
That happens every election, though. Every election, we get a lot of signing up. But yeah, now it's more polarized than it's ever been.
It's exactly. I mean, the U.S. politics is just a mess right now. So
yeah, and I think there's a lot of people who feel very strongly about it, and they're just not feeling, whether it's safe or happy with their current setup. So yeah, I agree. I think that could actually, with the foreign buyer ban, maybe it wasn't as much of a issue or in the past, but with the political climate in the States, I could see more people coming up. So yeah.
There's also just another thing on the economic update. I think bankruptcies are up quite a bit now. And I feel like it's indicating to all of us that we're probably in some sort of prolonged recession.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
And the oil prices aren't helping things. It's going to be pulling back this summer. I know that if I drive truck to Calgary, that's going to be a ton of gas.
Yeah.
right? And I know that gas prices by 50%.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, on Saturday, I'm going to be out to Souk, and then after that to Lake Cowichan, and then after that to Ladysmith to look at 4 different properties
Wow,
for some
good on
out-of-town
you.
buyers. So that'll be a good hefty.
That'll
gas
have
bill.
to gas bill, except yeah. So I think
gotta-
there's. I
I
think
got to switch with Vince for that day. You let me borrow
I'll
the
trade you
Tesla?
cars. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You
Yours
know how to
makes-
drive standard?
Yeah, please.
Perfect.
Come on,
All right,
please.
Cool. Awesome.
I think there's going to be a big pullback this summer from spending, consumer spending, and prediction time. What else? What is the thing? Here's trivia for you guys. What is the main thing that happens when there's a clear recession anywhere? What's the main thing that happens?
Job loss?
People worry?
Yeah, no, those two things, but specifically with regards to money.
Interest rates go down.
Right.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Let's go. Man, if you're asking me questions, I'd be killing it. I'm
think-
a big trivia guy.
Tiff Macklem and team is going to, I think they're going to see that our is probably in a prolonged recession and they're going to lower the rates.
Yeah. Well, I think that we talked about this on the last podcast where I think the war in Iran right now is what's stopping that from happening.
Right.
I feel like in the last couple of
Because
days,
it's
there was some decreases,
right.
but
Exactly.
because of this inflation due to gas prices going up and it affecting so many other prices, it's kind of like this fake. What's it called?
Supply shock
Yeah,
something?
but it's like a inflation.
It's
right?
fake inflation.
Fake inflation, like
But real
fake
inflation. It's putting our economy in a much worse position ultimately.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be more people that have less and things are going to cost more.
Yeah.
So it's going to be it could be a prolonged recession. That it's not necessarily bad for most people.
Yeah,
But
recessions are scary.
people are
going
going to have to pull back. Like people are going to have to pull back on discretionary items. And I feel like there are people that are going to have to be propped up a little bit more. That need to be propped up, and like my politics aside, we should probably do it because we have to help everybody through. But I believe interest rates are going to come down, and I believe that will ultimately sort of like get things chugging again.
Yeah.
And then immigration is going to eventually flatten out. But in the long term, like so short to medium to mid to medium long term, rates are going to come down. But then after that, they're going to go back up because all of this debt that we're creating. There's going to be, as interest rates come down, we're going to have quantitative easing. There's going to be more bonds issued onto the market. Fixed rates are going to also come down. After that, everybody's going to realize that, okay, after we're going for a certain period of time with a steady economy, a growing economy at 3%, per year, where it should be, then rates will start coming back up.
Yeah.
And over the next 40 years, I do believe we'll see an interest rate line that just gradually goes up like that. So that there's no major shocks anymore. I really want to avoid huge major shocks with interest rates.
I think that makes sense. I think that's probably the goal always, right? Like,
But people are going to slowly pay more over time. So locking in from 1980 to 2022 or 2021, because variable rate was almost always better. Moving forward, there's going to be timing when you're going to want to lock in.
Yeah.
So speaking of locking in the States, this is something a lot of
I was just about to
consumers
bring
might
this
not
up.
know,
Yeah.
but like in Canada, we don't really go beyond 5-year terms. In the States, you can get a 30-year term on a mortgage.
Which is
So
standard, actually. I think they have to. Yeah.
So why don't we do that in Canada? And do you think that there's ever an appetite to do that in Canada in the future? If I could lock in at, what the rates are today and know that I'm...
But Vince, so right now, if you want to get a 25, 30-year mortgage in the States, they're sitting at 6.5 to 8%.
Right, yeah.
So it's already caked in.
Yeah,
I'd like
that
to
hurts.
see the statistics also on how many people actually live through those terms. Or like not live through those
Well,
terms.
we
The
know-
people don't actually die.
Yeah.
But no, how many people don't refinance at some point?
Well, what we absolutely know is that across North America, the average household moves every 5 to 7 years.
Right.
So that answers your question right there. And so maybe the Canadian method of having a 5-year term is actually more in line with how most of us are living our lives.
Yeah.
5 years at a time.
Yep. So we're actually paying less because we don't have to pay for that, increase
That-
in
yeah.
inflation, right? So
Yeah, maybe it's not so bad over here.
yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing though is like if you bought a house in the States, like I don't even know before COVID, during COVID when interest rates were like super super low, and you have a 30-year mortgage sitting at like 2.5%, how could you ever leave that at this point? You know what I mean? Like with an interest rate, if you're looking to move at increasing by 6% or 5%, it's like you just be like, well, I guess I'll stay here for the rest of my life.
Well, and that's why sales volume is down. And here's a fun fact that I just heard from the National Association of Realtors in the States is they're estimating that 25% of agents are not going to renew their license this year.
Yeah. Well,
And
it makes
so-
sense, right? Like when sales are super high, real estate agents increase, and then
Yep.
when sales dip, real
It
estate
follows.
agents also. So it's
Yeah.
it's a following, statistic or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so we've speculated.
We have speculated.
Man,
There's
and
been a
that's-
lot of speculation.
Oh.
David, do you want to quickly touch on mortgage rates right
Yeah,
now? What's
mortgage
going on?
rates.
'Cause
So
I got an email from you, and it was saying I forgot to follow up and read the newsletter, but it was saying it had blurred out the the header, and it said like something about mortgage rates coming down.
yeah.
So can you touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, with regards to this, my perspective on it right now is, of course, not all advice is for everybody. You know, I have to say that that's my disclaimer, but we're just here for discussion purposes, is that for most people, I do feel like the variable rate is still the better way to go. Because right now, posted rates at banks are probably anywhere from 4.5 to 5.
Yeah.
Discounted rates are completely different, though. So, which has made my job pretty fun. But, you know, I think the variable rate offers a lot of value right now because it starts out, lower than the fixed rates do. And you have the chance of locking in actually when the time is right.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know about their rate. They can lock in at the right time. And on insured variable rates,
Yep.
for anybody that actually listens to the podcast and is shopping for a mortgage, we'll see if they want to take advantage of this or not. On a live deal, I can offer prime -1.
Right now. Wow.
Yeah.
So what is that? Like 3 points?
That is 3.45.
3.45, right?
Yeah. So insured high ratio only.
Yeah. What about uninsured variable? What are we saying?
Well, uninsured variable is completely different.
Yep.
Because the banks aren't to sell that money as they're trying to sell the insured money.
No, of course.
So anywhere from, and I'm being honest here, like there'll probably be people that'll just say a low number just to get more people to
No,
come.
we
or
want the
whatever.
facts, David.
The facts.
Yeah.
Anywhere from probably 3.75 to 4.25.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in that range. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys got into the weeds there and you glossed over something we've talked about previously. But for a listener who doesn't understand the difference between high ratio or insured and uninsured, for the listeners at home, if you're high ratio, it means you have less than 20% down.
I couldn't have said it better.
That's it. So, little side note.
Nice.
And
That's all I have.
you have to pay for the insurance.
That's right. Yeah, there's an
And-
extra cost.
And then what about quickly, Dave, before we move on to stats?
The extra cost gets added to the total amount of the mortgage.
Yeah. Fixed rates. Give me less than 20% down and over 20% down.
So fixed rates, probably in and around 3.89 for a high ratio.
Yeah.
And
And that's less than 20% down.
that's less than 20% down, 3.89 high ratio. And for conventional, 4.24.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
That's pretty good.
But for a live deal.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to me and says, I want a rate hold at 4.24, I say,
Not happening. Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I can't hold discounted rates.
Right.
And right now, banks are very individually pricing every deal.
Right.
So the landscape has changed. It's made my job way more fun.
I wonder, David, a question. If you are selling a home and you have, $900,000 of equity in there and you're buying another home, and so say you're putting 50% down on your next home, is that a deal that looks really good for them because they have so much equity caked in? Is that a factor?
So what you're leaning to is the home less than $1 million?
No.
Okay. So for homes that are less than $1 million,
Yeah.
we can price that kind of mortgage as an insurable transaction that's less than 65%. Now, the pricing there for that mortgage is almost the same as the high ratio mortgage.
Yeah.
And that's because the lender is actually paying whatever insurance fee is associated with insuring that mortgage.
Oh, okay.
But the buyer gets the benefit of the insurable rate.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to clarify my question maybe. When you are putting more money down and I would view that as less risk for the bank, right?
Right.
In that scenario, is that one of the things
It all
where-
falls into the insurable or conventional baskets.
Yeah, but you were saying it's per deal where they're willing to offer these discounts, right?
Yeah.
Is that one of the things that looks really good to a bank? It helps them feel good about the deal?
The rates, honestly, that as long as the is qualified, it doesn't 50 or 80%.
Oh, okay.
It just matters. Actually, first of all, the bigger mortgages are the ones that garner generally a little bit better interest rates.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter maybe whether it's 50% or 80% loan to value.
It's more about the
It's
total
more about
value.
the size of the mortgage.
Gotcha.
It's more about timing.
That makes sense, actually. I guess like they want more interest per overhead deal.
Right.
Because there's a lot of overhead per
Right.
one deal.
And,
right?
and as
So-
long as the mortgage is B20 qualifying, price it based on the size of the
So
mortgage.
you know what? You know what I don't like about that? Good in me. You know, the people that are buying $3 million homes that are getting it.
The rich get richer. Yeah, here we go.
No, I'm just joking.
Well, like people kind of, people have to understand that if you're getting a mortgage, the bank has to,
right.
in order to sort of get more
money.
make more
Yeah,
money.
Yeah, I get
Right.
it. Yeah.
So them the breaks,
Yeah.
but it's a good thing. Like when people like this and they're because people quiz me and they're like, what if my credit score 50 points higher?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it doesn't make a difference. What if I could do this or what if I could do that? And I'm just like, buddy, it doesn't make a difference. I say it really nicely to them. In my head, I'm thinking,
Wow, we're getting the
please
unscripted.
stop asking me. But I'm very nice to people.
But we've been told over and over as consumers that like you have to have a really good credit score in order to get X. Like we have been told
Yeah.
that you have to, pay down these debts. If you have student loans, forget about it. You're not getting a mortgage. So we have heard these messages over and over. So I can understand why clients are coming to you asking
Oh
these
yeah,
questions.
the questions are fine. The questions. I love questions.
Yeah, he was just joking.
I was just joking. No, I do love questions. All these questions to try to trick me into giving them a better interest rate.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I know. Some people even ask me if they should wait for their credit score to come up, from 780. And I'm just like, no, that's just fine. But there's going to always be people that are going to give themselves an excuse to wait.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Vince, is it market update time?
Let's do this. Okay, so we have speculation going on in the world. It's really uncertain. But one of the things that's really helpful is to just say, okay, what do we absolutely know with certainty? And well, we know the past with certainty. So what the heck has been going on for the last month? Last month, 643 properties sold. Who cares? How does that make a difference? Well, it's essentially flat. So we had 642 sold April of last year. So no real difference year over year. And you might say, oh, flat, wah, wah, recession. I don't know if you guys remember, but this time last year there was not a war in the Middle East.
There's a lot of attitude with this one.
I know. We do this month after month.
Same thing
Oh
every
my
month. Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
The market is flat. And what that tells me is actually it's not that it's flat. It's doing better than what the headlines would tell you
Yeah.
it's doing.
It's not dropping like crazy.
Exactly.
It is creating opportunity for the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look month over month sales, they're up 11%. Again, that's normal. We have a seasonal, awakening that happens in the spring market every year, so that's fine. Year over year, condo sales are actually up 6%.
See, that is the...
Didn't see that one coming.
I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that is exactly the opposite of what I am understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, don't believe everything you think. Single family homes are 1.2%.
And these are sale numbers.
Sales,
Yeah.
not prices. This is the volume of sales.
Yeah.
So
which is also crazy to me too, because what we're experiencing, Mark, is that condos are just dead right now.
and multiple
single-
offer for single family.
Yeah, exactly.
what the heck?
So what's that going on?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Because there's
inventory.
always high demand for single family.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So inventory, what do we actually have for active listings as of the end of April of 2026? We're up 13.8% from March. We have 3,700 active listings. If you remember from my trivia debacle earlier in the episode, that's a lot. We're up 8.3% year over year. So last year, this time we had about 3,400 listings.
Yeah. The big question mark is that people are talking about right now is, will we hit 4,000 in 2026?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
I think, yeah, because typically we see May is also a very heavy new listing month, and June is where it starts to peter off. So yeah, is it reasonable that we'll add another 10% active listings during the spring market? Absolutely.
Okay.
Especially if the existing active listings are just sticking around, which they appear to be doing. So what's all this doing for prices? If you're in the Victoria core, the single family home benchmark is down year over year 1.2%. So
Not a lot.
interesting. We're at 1.35 million, which again, crazy that we have so many listings for sale under $1 million, and yet the benchmark is still holding pretty steady at 1.35.
Because they're just not selling.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess. Is
that's
that
what I've
what
been
it
telling.
is?
That's what everyone that's been asking me about the market right now. Basically, how I explain it to people is, sellers are here. I have a higher.
He's got his hand
up, and buyers are, and there's a
Yeah.
disconnect.
Yeah.
You know, sellers are not wanting to come down where buyers need to be, and buyers aren't seeing the value at current prices because they're holding steady. And that's the problem with Canadian real estate. I feel like or not maybe the problem, but people have equity, people making their payments. And if they're not going to get their number, they'll just sit on it.
They'll just hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd rather get a reduced rent than
Yeah.
take a huge hit
Yeah.
on the property itself.
Yeah, and lots of people are saying, what I'm seeing in a lot of listings right now is, this is our final price reduction. If it doesn't sell in the next 3 weeks,
Yeah, we'll
we're
just-
taking it off the market. We're renting it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how's all this working for condos, you might ask? We have so many condos, everything's sad and there's blood running in the streets of Vancouver and Toronto. Developers are all stressed out and crying in their soup. Not a whole lot. We're down 0.8% year over year.
So that's basically
That's a
flat.
whole pile of nothing.
Whole pile
yeah.
of nothing.
So the average price for a condo in Victoria is $558,000. Who knew? So here's VREB's take. Our fearless chair, Fergus Kine, describes the market as a Goldilocks, not too hot, not too cold. But in Goldilocks, it was just right. And I don't
Yeah.
know, is the market just right? Is it
Yeah.
just right? Who's it just right for? Right now, we have strong inventory, sure. We have diverse price points, stuff all over the place. A lot of stuff under $1 million, as Adrian mentioned. And we do seem to have some brisk buyer interest, at least based on the number of sales. So who knows? But the caveat from VREB is always that micro markets vary significantly. So your experience, your mileage will vary depending on what neighborhood you're looking at, what type of property you're looking at. That's why you need a realtor who knows what's going on.
Yeah.
These
Okay.
guys.
These guys.
That's why you need
City
these
Nest.
guys.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here for you. So what's Leo got to say at House Hunt?
Yeah. So I was going through, see the stats on the House Hunt Victoria and kind of reading on his take, and not much different. The last market update, we're sitting right on that teetering of the very high end of a buyer's market, buyers and balanced. New listings 7% higher than a year ago. Basically inventory trend is continuing upward. Listings are coming on faster than normal at this time of year, even after accounting for seasonal patterns. Market conditions, combining months of inventory and sales to new list ratio, the market is sitting right at the edge, like I said, of that buyer's market. And like I said, unchanged from March. Now, prices and seasonality. No major price changes for detached is looking strongest, while condos and townhouses are relatively flat. Now, fall typically brings slightly better conditions for buyers. Now, if the market stays at this pace, the take basically is that price concessions from sellers should continue increasing throughout the summer as market inventory climbs, and unless there's this bull run, which I don't foresee happening, where there's going to be a bunch of people, potentially more sales increasing. There's going to be an increase in inventory. And then also that means just more people sitting on the market for longer. So that fall time might be a sweet spot for some buyers, right? After the
Yeah, but
spring
I would also
increase.
say if you're a buyer, shoot your shot. Like we've told buyers repeatedly, don't lowball. Like you got to be within 5%. But what's happening right now is you have a lot of stressed out sellers, and so rather than let the market beat them up for 3 months over the summer and then wait for the price reductions in the fall, try a lower offer now. They might actually thank you for it.
Yeah. No. I mean, and what I'm telling people is, if you see days on market of like 60 to 90
for
days
it,
or more,
go for it.
that's what you got. Like,
Yeah.
put it in an offer 100K under. Like,
Yeah.
why not? Like,
Well, I also always say to clients, it's opening up the negotiation. You're just a conversation.
Yeah. Agreed.
But what I think from all of what we're talking about here, you say we don't, Leo doesn't think there's going to be any bullish market soon.
Yep.
But we have this sort of like confluence of all these things that are happening, plus with your point of crowd think, we're going to have a lot of people right now are crowd thinking that they're staying off the plate and taking a swing, whereas we're going to have interest rates go down. A lot more people are going to start thinking about buying. Sellers are going to come down. And interest rates are going to come down. I think I already said that one. But, there's all these things that are going to be happening that could probably put us back into a bullish market before we expect.
Yeah. I guess and you're right, David. Like, no one's crystal ball is accurate. But if I put my best forward, I don't think it's going to happen until late 2027 or 2028.
Okay.
So I think we have some time, basically. And that's what I mean. I'm being honest. I'm telling buyers we need to save up a little more of down payment. Like, we're almost there. And I'm like,
No,
you're not agreeing.
No, I don't agree at all.
No,
I say when people need to save up more, if I put them in a position to anything, do it now.
Right. Yeah,
because it's like it could take somebody 6 months to save up another. It's almost whenever anybody tells me how much more they can save up over 6 months or 12 months, it's almost meaningless in the transaction.
Right.
Because our prices are so high.
Yeah.
Right. So unless that saving up the deposit gets you to 20% down, because 20% down really increases that you can afford or get a mortgage for. Unless that save up gets you to 20% down, then I'd say, okay, maybe think about it, but just buy something cheaper now.
Right.
And just do what you can right now.
Yeah.
Unless he has no money.
Yeah. All I'm getting at is I have a couple of buyers that are like, we're not quite ready for whatever reason. And basically I'm telling them it doesn't need to be a huge rush at this moment. I don't foresee any major changes happening for the next little bit here.
But you also tell your clients that if we see an amazing deal, you act on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I think we should skip this section.
Okay, we're skipping it.
Yeah.
But I had a couple. You want to skip this section?
No, section 3 is fine.
Okay.
Editor.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah. Skip the red.
I didn't read it.
And basically, as I was reading the house hunt, that's kind of the summary of the market. There's a couple. I was reading the comments, kind of pulled a couple talking points, and I kind of wanted to push them over to you guys, see what you guys think. And the first one: nice homes and nice locations aren't budging.
Are they nicely priced?
Yeah.
Well,
people don't want to take a hit.
Yeah.
And people think sold in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
They're going to hold out for that price.
Yeah. Well, basically, what they're kind of summarizing is that nice homes and nice locations that don't need major renovations, those are the ones that prices are not coming down. They're sitting. And there was one example they pulled in the comments there where something sold $425,000 above the 2022 ask or the sale price. Yeah, with minimal renovations. So that's the same house that sold in 2022, and they made $425,000. So they got a steal of a deal in 2022, or it's showing that nice homes that don't need a lot of work are selling in this market. And then the weakness is concentrated in condos, small units without parking, and less desirable locations. This one is very interesting, and I don't know if I agree, but first-time GST exemption, the new GST exemption, may be hurting condo resale.
Absolutely.
Because people are leaning towards new construction.
New product.
Yes, but
is there all that much out there right now?
That's it. I would agree on this topic. Yes, that logically makes sense. That if you get GST exemption on the new home purchase, that's going to take that buyer pool and push it towards new construction versus resale. But my argument to that is it's only first-time home buyers that are getting the GST exemption, and how big is that buyer pool? And what I'm hearing from every developer right now is it's crickets. So are they doing that much better than the resale market?
It should really be first. I don't really understand why they did this, because it's if you want to incent the developers, if you want to get things going, just take off the GST exemption for all buyers.
Yeah.
Why did they just do it for first-time home buyers?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because we still have protections. Here in BC, we have the BC speculation tax. So it's it's not like people are going to be buying inventory and just letting it sit empty.
Yeah.
Because, they're going to either rent it out or they're going to use it themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
The other one here was the buyer's window may not last. And we were just talking about
Yeah,
this,
I think we agree on that.
and we all kind of agree. David may be the most bullish here. Could come sooner rather than later. I'm
just watch when interest rates come down.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, there's so many little micro factors that can affect it, right? No one truly knows when it can happen, but yeah.
So speaking of micro factors, this is an interesting one. The property tax deferral changes. So BC right now, if you're over 55, you have the option, I think it's 55, you have the option to not pay your property taxes to your municipal government, and the provincial government actually steps in and writes the check for you on your behalf every year. And then that adds up, and every year, so if you've not paid your property taxes for 5 years and it's $10,000 a year, you now owe the government $50,000 plus a modest amount of interest. And I think the change now is the interest is actually going to be like a lot. They're going to charge fair market rate for that interest.
Dang, I was about to say, can I start doing this now?
Well,
yeah, no. And the idea, the whole idea of this program, why it started years and years ago, was to say a lot of people are house rich, but they don't have the cash flow in retirement, and so getting hit with a $10,000 property tax bill was disastrous for retirees. Yeah. David's doing the old millennial eye roll. I love it. No, but it, like, for them, and you hear this all the time, I'm on a fixed income, blah, blah, blah. So the idea with this is they're going to say, well, hey, we can't be subsidizing your essentially cash flow management issues with lower interest rates. So the government's going to say, hey, we're fine to do this deferral thing. We're going to keep doing it.
We're going to charge you the right amount of interest.
You're going to pay the fair amount.
Makes sense.
And so what this is possibly going to do is it's going to have a downstream effect on listing activities for downsizers. And right now we're seeing this massive bottleneck. It's a boomer bottleneck. I heard that on another mortgage brokers podcast. Sorry, David, I listen to other mortgage brokers. They have this idea that there's this boomer bottleneck. There's a whole pile of boomers that are sitting in giant homes with extra bedrooms, and they have this amazing program where they don't have to pay these property taxes up front, so they've been sitting on it. This change could actually push people off of the ledge and get them into downsizing conversations 5 years
because
sooner.
They're paying a little bit more interest on their tax deferral.
Yeah. If you, you talk to my grandpa about paying extra taxes, man. And,
yeah. Or you talk to anyone's grandparents about even the idea of just owing interest on debt.
Yeah.
Right? Like mortgage, paying off your mortgage was a big rite of passage for that generation. And for us, we're like, we're going to
They
have
don't
it for a
like
long
it.
time. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it will possibly change some consumer behavior.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome, guys. I think that wraps it up. Any final tidbits of info for our listeners?
Go and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to hear this before the weekend.
Okay,
so.
yes.
Get a radio for your boat.
Enjoy weekend.
Enjoy a weekend.
Okay.
I love that, David. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you for Real Estate Podcast produced by the City Nest team. We have had some fantastic reviews, and we love them. So please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you're listening. We also really appreciate you guys sharing the podcast with friends and family. Otherwise, Vince, David, how can people get in touch?
I actually just started a TikTok channel, so if you want to see me
you
dancing at
not.
open houses, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that. I'm on LinkedIn, or just send me an email, vincent@citynest.ca.
I'm also on LinkedIn. That's a good one.
You have
I
some
love
great
that.
stuff. Yeah,
thank
I like
you.
it.
And I'm going to be posting more coming up. So anyways, it's David Steinberg on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. And you can reach out to me, Adrian, at 250-464-4122 or on Instagram at Adrian Real Estate Victoria. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.